Yalkut Shimoni in Pashas Pinchas. It says, Amar Reb Levi. I believe Reb Levi is the one who says this. Rosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rebbeinu Shalom wanted to make a Yom Tov in the months of the summer, every month. He wanted to make a Yom Tov every month in the summer. In Nisan he made Pesach. In Iyar he made Pesach Sheni. In Sivan he made Shavuot. In Tammuz he wanted to make a Moed Gadol. That's what it says in the Yalkut. He wanted to make not only a Yom Tov, but a Moed Gadol, a big Yom Tov. But we made the Egel, so we couldn't have the big Yom Tov. It turned into a Ta'anit. It turned into Ta'anit Revi'i. We fast Shabbos B'Tammuz. And this Ta'anit Chamishi, we fast on Tisha B'Av. So we lost Tammuz of an El. We didn't have a Yom Tov in those months. But the Rebbeinu Shalom paid us back. It says in Tishrei he gave us Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. So what does it mean that the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted to give us a Yom Tov in every month of the summer? And why did he want to do that? Why did he want to give only in the summer, not in the winter? And what happened because we made the Egel, we couldn't have the Yom Tov in the Tammuz of an El? That means the Rebbeinu Shalom forgot about us. What does that mean? So I'll tell you what I think. I think when the Rebbeinu Shalom gives us a Yom Tov, gives us a Moed, he gives us something as a chizuk. He gives us something which, if we understand it correctly, a Yom Tov, what is Yom Tov? What's Pesach? What's Sukkot? It's a time that God did miracles for us. At Pesach he made many, many miracles. Shavuot also many miracles. Sukkot also many miracles. What does it mean that Hashem Yisrael made miracles for us? So on the one hand, it means he shows us that he's willing to do what he doesn't want to do. What do I mean? We know Chazal teach us that the Rebbeinu Shalom Hashem does not want to make big miracles for us. Because he wants us to have B'chira Chafshit. He wants us to have free will. And when he makes big miracles, we're almost coerced, we're almost forced to listen to Hashem Yisrael. We can't do anything other than what he wants. And he comes over and he tells us, he shows us he's going to turn all the water into blood, or he makes all the B'chorim die. What choice do we have but to listen to what he wants us to do? And Hashem wants us to have free choice. So he doesn't like to make miracles. He doesn't like to make big miracles. Still, there are times when the Rebbeinu Shalom made big miracles anyways. And those are called Yamim Tovim. Those days where he made those big miracles are called Yamim Tovim. The good days, the days of goodness and of the Rebbeinu Shalom showing us his love. What does that do for us? When we see that God made miracles for us, even though he didn't want to, that means he went out of his comfort level, what we would call, in order to make us in a better place, in order for us to be saved from a disaster. So that says that Hashem showed us that he loves us, yes? He showed us, I'm going to do for you what I don't want to do, but I'm going to do it because you need it. That I want you to be comfortable, I want you to be saved, I don't want you to be destroyed. So it shows us his love for us. In the winter months, the nisyonot that we have, the challenges that we have, are challenges, but the summer months, the challenges are greater. So while in the winter, Hashem Yisrael gave us Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and Tishrei, there's not another Yom Tov in the winter. That's it. Next, Yom Tov with the Rabbanan, we have Chanukah and Purim, but that's it. With the Raisa and no Yom Tovim, we don't need them as much in the winter. In the summer, the challenges are much greater. And that's why the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted to give us Yom Tovim every month in the summer. So he gave us in Nisan, Iyar, and Sivan, but he couldn't give us in Tammuz of Nel because of the Egel. But the Rebbeinu Shalom didn't forget about us. So what are we supposed to do? We made a mistake, so we made an Egel. So we're supposed to be, how are we going to meet the challenges? How's Hashem Yisrael going to help us meet the challenges? So the Rebbeinu Shalom doesn't want to do it this way, but it works just as well. When Hashem Yisrael gives us an avegut, he gives us mourning, he gives us sadness, that also helps us remember that the Rebbeinu Shalom is there. And when the Rebbeinu Shalom shows us, I'm not ignoring you. I'm going to do what you need. I'm going to watch over you. I want you to have pleasantness. I want to give you pleasantness. So whenever I can, I do. But if I can't give you pleasantness, I'm going to still give you something to help you remember. And that's unfortunately sometimes when we have Avelut, that helps us remember too. We remember that we did something that wasn't right, and we remember that we had to pay a price for it, and that reminds us that God is still there. That God is there all the time. He's there, He wants to be there and give us wonderful things, pleasant things, but even if we can't accept the pleasant things, it's not good for us. He'll give us something that's going to be something that we'll be able to stay focused on Him. And that's Avelut. So in Tammuz and Av, the Rebbe Hashem gave us 2 days of discomfort, of sadness. But those days are supposed to remind us, it's supposed to help us remember that Hashem is always there. We've said this before. I know it sounds strange that sadness can bring us close to Hashem Yisrael, close to Rebbe Hashem, but it does. We've said many times, there's a Karban Todah that we bring. One of the Karbanot that Hashem Yisrael says, we can bring is Todah to thank God. When we were in a bad situation, a person was sick, a person was in prison, that he gets free. Anybody who was in a situation of serious risk and serious danger, when he gets out of that situation, he brings a Karban Todah. Today we don't have a Karbanot, so we say, we make a bracha The idea of that bracha is to thank God for doing a good thing for us. But the question is, how can we make a bracha for God giving us a good thing, saving us? We can turn around and ask God, thank you very much for saving me. I was very, very deathly ill and you healed me. So I thank you and I'm appreciating. I'm making a bracha. But tell me something, God. Who made me sick? So if we ask God, so don't make me sick and don't heal me. Don't put me into prison. Don't get me out. Don't make me a situation which is dangerous and life-threatening, and don't save me from it. So how do we make the bracha at all? So the answer is because really we're not just saying the bracha for being saved. We're saying the bracha for the whole occurrence. What we're really saying the bracha is that God is always there watching over us and doing for us what we need. Sometimes we need to have, like a child, sometimes we have to reprimand the child. Sometimes it's enough to say a word, sometimes you have to raise your voice, sometimes you even have to hit him. But to ignore the child means I don't love him. I let him do the child whatever he wants to do, that means I don't love him. I need to be concerned about his well-being and his welfare to the point where I'm watching him all the time and do and respond to him the way that he needs to have that response. I want to respond to him in a pleasant way. I want to be able to say to him, that's wonderful, it's terrific, keep up the good work. But sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes it's not appropriate. When the child is unfortunately not in a good place, I have to try to help him get out of that not good place. So that sometimes, so we're thanking the Rebbe Hashem when we make a Todah, or we say Yachad Kollel. We're thanking Kadosh Baruch Hu for always being there, for always being with us, being aware of what's going on with us, and doing whatever needs to be done for us in order to be able to succeed, in order for us to be able to improve, and be able to get closer to the Divine Almighty. Now is the time we're preparing now for the 3 weeks. Hopefully we will not have to face this Yeshivat. Mashgiach will come soon, very, very soon, and we will be spared from any further Avelut, and we'll only have Yom Tov. It'll be a Yom Tov completely. But in the meantime, we have to prepare ourselves for the next few weeks, to prepare ourselves to remind ourselves of God's care and God's awareness and God's being with us all the time. To let that help us be able to be more careful in what we do. It's no comparison of what we do when we're aware of the fact that we're in the presence of the Almighty. The Almighty is here, He's listening to us, He's watching us, and we're in His presence all the time. When to the extent that we're aware of that, we remember that, that's the extent that we will be doing things in the right way, in a much better way than we might do it otherwise. So let's take these few weeks. Right now it's from Avelut, hopefully it'll be turned into from Simcha, from Nisim Guyim. Make ourselves aware, remind ourselves, we're in the presence of the Shekhinah, we're in the presence of the Rebbe Hashem. We should act in a way which is appropriate when we're in the presence of the Rebbe Hashem. We should talk in appropriate ways, we should act in appropriate ways, we should think in appropriate ways. And that way the Almighty will see how much we're doing for His honor and how much we're doing in order to be able to keep what He wants us to do and to satisfy the purpose for which we were created. And that can be the biggest thing to allow Be'ezat Hashem Yisbarach. We should be Zechet L'Gula Shteinu V'B'Her. Amen.